Aleikum guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, karibu sana. My name is Sheba and I'm a third year clinical medicine undergraduate student, and you probably know that by now if you've been around here for a very long while. But you guys, something you guys don't know is most of the time you get my side of stories. Like you get my opinions, you get my views, you get my advice. But one thing that you guys actually, I don't know, except for the few who know me very well, like on a really personal level, I get most of my value from the people I interact with, and that's my friends, family, classmates, and they give me a lot of inspiration, motivation, and drive to do some of the things that I'm doing today, and I'm also sharing onto my channel. So as the community was growing, alhamdulillah, thank you guys so much. I took a step back and say, like, I really want you guys to also benefit from the value that these people are adding into my life. So in that effort, I'll be bringing over, inshallah, some of my friends, some of my really close friends, some of my family, some of my classmates, inshallah, in here to the channel in an effort to actually add value to your lives, and so that we can learn something or two from their lives, something or two from their stories, and we can just benefit in general, inshallah. And yeah, I really hope you guys will enjoy this type of content, and let me know if you have someone you want featured in this kind of videos. Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know what kind of content, what do you want spoken about, what other side of view do you want. And yeah, I'm really interested, inshallah. And today we are going to kick it off, inshallah, with my brother. And yeah, so let's do this, guys. I really hope you enjoy it. And yeah. So, dear viewers, like Sahi, we are on the second part. Actually, Hamisi, I had pre-recorded a video, so this is like the second part to that video. The viewers are, inshallah, like the whole video is going to be the second part. But anyways, you guys, like I told you, inshallah, so today we are going to kick it off with my brother Hamisi, and I'm going to throw over the ball. I don't want to waffle about him because I can talk about him the whole day, but I just want him to introduce himself, tell you a little bit about himself, what he's currently doing, what he's all about, and yeah, let's hear from him. Bismillah.
Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Alaikum
Uh,
salam.
to my friends, Mambo Vipi. So my name is Hamisi Ngao, and I'm one of his closest friends. I talk about Sheba. So I'm Sheba's closest friend, or AKA brother, and I'm a student just like him. I study IT in JKUAT. I'm also a love of tech. I love tech. Like tech is in me. Like if I'm not doing anything, I'm just doing tech related stuff. So for those who love tech in this channel, yeah, feel free. We can connect somewhere. Just follow Sheba, and he's going to direct you to me. Thank you.
Ah, we'll leave the details in the description below. So in your description, you've said something about tech. So what came into my mind actually was, you know, there's this tech when we think about the new smartwatches, the new phones, the new computers, and then there's the other type of tech. You know, me I know
Yeah,
because I've been talking to you, we've been interacting for a very long while. Like I know the things about
sure.
CU on a front end, CU back end. That's the little that I
Yeah.
know. So I guess tell people more of this tech in your Meseva. Is it the physical one that we know, like the PS5, the new technology in Alexa? I'm like, what kind of tech are you talking about?
Okay, so yeah, the Alexas, everything,
Mm-hmm.
Izoma, Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
You see, all those are products of tech. You
Tech.
see,
Uh-huh.
you see, those are the products of tech. Now, after that tech is implied, we come up with those products. So tech has a lot of products, and I'm talking about the science now, the science behind the tech. So it's
Yani the
very
brains
interesting.
behind the tech.
Yeah, the brains that
Sawa.
are used to develop the Tesla,
Mm-hmm.
the brains that are used in the smartwatches. You see, like in smartwatches we have, we also have in Tesla we have the brains like AI, we have brains, big brains in the tech. So I'm a big brain in the tech. I'm not bragging, I'm not flexing, but yeah, I'm really fascinated by that.
Yeah, so I really think it was an important part to talk about, because me personally, Mimi, and the little knowledge that I have about tech is, yani mtu akiniambia tech, I just think about, the phones, nini. But then when I came to actually, like, when you started school, uni, and we started talking, then mambo na school nini, then there's this other side of tech that came in, hiyo mambo na programming, sijui nini. God knows why I'm not doing those stuff, because mimi sidhani kama ningeweza. I really don't think so. Anyways, so you guys, if you don't know, alhamdulillah, at this point in life, sort of like both of us, we've been through school a lot, especially because if you're in Kenya, you can totally relate to this. If you've been to university, you can totally relate to this, because tumeanza primary and then we've gone to secondary. Alhamdulillah, we passed. The fact that we are in university, alhamdulillah, shows that we passed our exams, and currently, alhamdulillah, we are in third year, both of us. So that is a very huge statement on his side. We are both in third year right now, and alhamdulillah, this it's for a very long time in our lives we have been students, and that is what we are trying, inshallah, to bring into the topic and discuss about. So the idea is, we've been students for a very long while now, alhamdulillah, and we probably are going to be students for like the rest of our lives. So let's start this discussion off with a very interesting question. And what I want to ask you is, what, in your own perspective, in your own words, in your own point of view, what is a good student? What makes a good student?
Sure. Thank you for the question. It's a very good question, Mr. Sheba. According to what you've asked a good student, and before we define a good student, I'd like you guys to understand my perspective of a good student, right? So a good student is I'm sorry for that. My perspective of a student. A student is a learner. Like, if you are learning, you are a student. Just as short as it is, the description is very brief. A student is just a learner, and is a person. A learner is someone who follows some perspective just to gain some knowledge, I guess. And a good student, now coming to the definition, is a person who now is the learner who has mastered his craft. Which craft is that? It's a craft of learning, right? And that craft, which has been mastered by him or her, helps that learner to impact the society or bring about solving a problem. That's it. That's my definition of a good student.
Yeah, picking up on the definition, you've said mastered their craft. Like the learning itself, it's something that needs to be learned, right? Sindio? That is what I
Yeah, sure.
understood. Yani, like, that is what,
Yeah.
kule kusoma kwenyewe kwafaa mtu asome jinsi ya kusoma, sindio? And
yeah.
coming from, like, tukiangalia the way we were taught back in high school, but then you guys, if you don't know, we're coming from the same high school but different classes. Anyways, we, like, kule kusoma tusoma tu, like, nobody actually comes in class and tells you, like, this is how you're supposed to read, this is how you're supposed to approach ABCD, this is how you're supposed to do revision questions. But then one thing I'm a really huge fan of, and I tell people mostly about on my channel, to experiment. Try to experiment. No one will come actually and tell you, you know what, hii ni biology, ama hii ni Android programming. So you need to actually approach it in ABCD. Okay, you might have those lecturers ambao watakwambia kitu kama hiyo, sio? Lakini, like, the learning itself needs to be learned. Yani wafaa ujue jinsi ya kusoma. And where do you think, personally, mimi naona it starts from mtu kujijua mwenyewe. Like, wafaa ujijue, mimi for example, I learn, let's take for example mambo kama books. Weza kuona mtu pengine yosoma, they read through their phones, like they are totally okay with software and soft copy books, but then there's someone who needs pen and paper to actually write something down and actually internalize something. So mimi naona in my own point of view, it starts na wewe mwenyewe, yani vile you need to know yourself and what works for you and experiment with very many strategies so that you can actually know how you learn. What do you think about this? Like how does someone reach the point of knowing this is how I learn? Like mimi nasoma hivi. How do they reach that point?
Okay, so as I said, learning is a craft. You see, like you just don't wake up in the morning and you're like, yeah, I'm going to learn. It has to be mastered, just like any other craft, right?
Exactly.
And even you cannot say that if I learn every day, I've mastered my craft. I cannot be in the learning process today and I'll be in the learning process tomorrow. The other day, I'm not going to be in the learning activity, and I might say, yeah, I've mastered my craft. You can be learning every day, but you're not doing nothing. You see, that's the funny thing. So learning here has been, we've put learning as a craft because we need to exercise learning. It's an activity that we develop over time, and we need to exercise it. Just like the brain is a muscle, like we need to start gradually. You need to exercise. You need to do something about it. You need to work on it, and ultimately, in the end, you are going to make it. You're going to master this craft of learning, and that's where many students fail, and I can say many students don't get right. Someone can be just doing the learning and thinks that he is a learner, and yet he's not. I'm not saying that to make you feel bad about it, but yeah, it's not how it seems. Yeah.
And I really think this is a really good question. I never knew this question was going to come up this way, but it's really important. Like for everyone, if you are currently maybe in like year one in your university, try to figure out Maze, how you articulate stuff and how you get stuff into your brain. Ama if you are in form one, ama mahali ambao there's like for form four, there's nothing much you can do. Although there's something you can do, but then like, you know, try to figure out what works for you. So that's a really, I really love the way you put the craft thing and how it led to all these, you know, learning things. Onto the kind of like the next thing I wanted us to talk about is we've been in school for, I guess, more than 10 years, right?
Yeah, we've been in
Because
school
8
for
plus 4 is 12,
10
12
years.
plus 3 is 15. Still. So we've been in school for like 15 years right now, and probably along the way there's something you've done wrong. There's something you've regretted doing. There's something there's a class maybe you really ilikukalia and things just went, you know, shooting all around. So what are some of the mistakes that you did pengine ambao, like, right now thinking back you're like, maybe I could have done better, or just some mistakes ambao ulipitia during all this process mpaka saizi, ama something, yeah, just mistakes you've done ambao we can learn from.
First, just to know about me, because you guys don't know about me. So I'm a love of tech. You told me, I just told you that I love tech, right? And yeah, growing up, I had many things to choose from, and I think I just as I told you that learning, and Sheba also told us that learning you have to practice, you have to choose and see what works for you, right?
Exactly.
And in the process of choosing what works for me, I think I had a small pool to choose from, and I just believe that I was learning with what I had, and I was sticking to what I was having at that time. Yet the mistake is that I was supposed to choose from a really great pool of things, and so that I can see does this work for me, and if it doesn't work if it doesn't work for me, then just throw it out. And if does this work for me also? If this doesn't work for me, just keep it aside. So I think I stick to something that or I stick to a principle that was not working for me. And in the long run, I'm not going to tell you a whole story about this, but I'm just going to tell you in brief, you see, so that you can relate. Maybe in your own circumstances, you've also come across this. So I was sticking to some principles that uh, couldn't work for me in the future. Yet I was supposed to learn from a couple of things that will help me. Probably I'm going to choose this. So I had only few choices. So I think I had a scarcity mindset. In short, don't have a scarcity mindset when you're learning. Just have an abundant mindset. Yeah, because you never know what you're going to learn, and will this help you? And that's so. In short, to summarize this is that I had a scarcity mindset instead of an abundant mindset. That's it.
You know, from me, from the way we know each other, you know, we know each other for a very long time, and I actually know what you're talking about. But I know for the viewer, they're stuck somewhere. They're stuck somewhere. Like, this story is not clicking. Like, can you just elaborate a little bit further for them? Because me, I totally understand what you mean. I totally get it, and I know I can put the situation in its context. But then can you please just elaborate kidogo tu for the viewer to actually give an example, for example.
Let's do it for you. Okay. Just because you're my family and you guys are my family, and I'm just going to speak it out. So you are ready? This what happened. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm not going to talk about me because I hate talking about me, but I like to educate you guys. So growing up, I do tech currently. I'm going to start every statement with I do tech because I love tech. Okay, with all my heart. So I do tech. I'm a lover of tech. But 5 years ago, I never knew anything about tech. Trust me. That's funny because 5 years ago, I was dumb. I could say I was dumb about tech, never knew about tech. This is because probably no one introduced me to it, you see. And I never saw the good side of it. I saw the good side of something else. For example, if you want to become an engineer in this world, you're going to focus on the engineering domain, but you're not going to focus on other things. You're not going to focus on business. You're not going to focus on that, and which is really wrong. I'm going to tell you, this is so wrong. So what you're supposed to do is have a bunch of things that you are supposed to foresee yourself that you're going to do these things, right? And once you establish you're going to do such things, just weigh everything, and you might fall in love with something that you never expected, yet you had planned to do this, you see, and you might be learning the wrong thing. So because in learning you have to love what you learn. That's the key thing. If you don't love what you're doing, you don't love your craft, then you're not a learner. I'm sorry to say this to you, but so I was learning something that I was not, I wouldn't say I was not loving. Probably I was loving it, but 5 years to come, I'm not loving it. If something doesn't matter 5 years to come, there's no need of doing it. So I never thought that 5 years to come, which is now, I will not be loving that thing. I'm not hating it, but I'm not loving it also. You see? So, and yet I know 5 years to come, I'm going to be loving tech, and this is what I choose to do. And 5 years to come, still, I'm not going to be loving that thing that I never wanted to do. So it's all about career choices and everything. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm sorry if I never talked about it earlier, but that's how I'm going to open up, and to that degree. Thank you.
I guess the viewers are now getting the gist of whatever you're talking, because me personally, I'm comfortable at that level, and I'm so sorry for pushing
you're good
towards that end. But
thank you for putting me under pressure. Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
much pressure, and
So
that's
the
not
other
good.
thing I've kind of picked is when you talk about the scarcity mindset. Yani, don't just lock yourself up in a room, put yourself out there. Cindy, that's literally
Yeah,
what you are trying to say.
yeah,
Because
yeah. In other word, we call
yeah,
it one it is. One it is a problem. You
yeah,
know, for those who know one it is, one it is something that can be related. You know, I know maybe you might know of one it is.
mhm,
One it is the word one it
yeah,
is.
one
Just go
it
search it.
is. Uh-huh.
Yeah, one it is. So it affects us in everything in our lives, be it choices we make, relationship wise and everything,
Mm,
hobby wise and everything. So like even in career choices, we
mm,
come up with something called one it is. So especially when you're young, so you really want to do this, but you don't know what it involves, and you've never seen the other good side of the story. I
exactly.
haven't said that
Uh-huh.
what you want to do is not good, but
Mm,
yeah, you can explore some other things, find some things,
yeah.
and see how they work, and decide and stick to that. Probably it's going to work.
Yeah, and another thing, it's like we like, me personally, we and everyone who is watching this video, take it as a responsibility to yourself. One, to explore, and then two, to actually, like, you know, try to tell people that there are so many options out there. It's not A, B, C, D, E, F, G alone. No, there's up to Z. Like, and you can form a lot of
Sure.
words using the same alphabet. So when it is, don't lock yourself up in one room. Go out there and see what the world has to offer and what you yourself
And
can
learn.
offer. Yeah, and learn, exactly, because like you've said it, hujui miaka mitano itakaokuja what you're going to like, for example, taking your story, for example, you didn't know you were going to love tech, but then here you are such a
Yeah.
big fan and such a big lover of tech, and you chose to put yourself out there. So you never know what the future has to offer. So get yourself out there. I guess the viewers wameelewa yani what you're trying to say. Yeah. So the other thing, okay, sort of like an opposite direction to what we've just been talking about. We've talked about the mistake, sort of like the big spotlights that highlights the mistake you did. But what is that one thing that you're so proud of yourself for doing right? Like over these years, is there something, a decision that you made that you're like, yeah, this one was a good one.
Uh, there are very many decisions that I'm so proud of.
Yeah, I like that.
Uh, Very many of them. So I'm going to give you few decisions.
Mhm.
Number one decision is to uh, have a group of good friends, and yeah, you might have bad friends. Yeah, I do have bad friends. I agree, very bad friends, and yeah, I know they know themselves. So I also have good friends, and it's the good friends that matter at the end of the day. So like people who inspire you, people who you can talk to,
Mhm.
apart from, you know, like I don't talk to my parents a lot, you see. That's the thing I'm going to tell you for sure. I don't talk to my parents about my decisions and everything, but I have this bunch of few friends, the good friends that I can tell, yeah, this is what I want to do, this is what I think of, this is what this is good, this is bad. And also from them I can learn from them, and they do learn from me. So learning, you cannot learn on your own. So from that state, from that explanation I'm giving you, is that
Mm,
I never learned on my own. It's the community.
mm,
So that's a good decision, something that I'm so proud of to date, that I do have good friends that inspire me, and yeah, we are ready to kick it together.
yeah.
Just as I said, I have many good decisions
Mhm.
to give you. So I'm going to give you one bonus decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should I?
Yeah. Pour them on us. Pour them on us. Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm going to give you one bonus decision.
Uh-huh.
So one thing that I'm proud of too is focus. I know you never expected that. Is focus. Like my focus is uninterruptible. Like my focus like it's something out of this world. I swear, like
Mm.
that's something that I'm proud of. When I decide to focus, is that no one is going to hold me back, and that has helped me coming uh, all the way up to here. That's why I'm in this video, because of my focus. And I'm in university. I'm not saying focusing on studies, but I've been focusing on a lot of things. So I know you may want to know them, but maybe if Sheba will give me an opportunity to air out later on, or some other videos, I'll be free to tell you.
We're actually on a time constraint. Anyways, you guys, yeah,
Yeah.
I really love, I love how you've actually put it. Like you have so many right decisions, and the two that you've highlighted, I guess, there's so much significance to the point of they can actually make or break. Like it's either you yani, I don't know how to put it. Like it's, if you have them, they're going to be a really good thing, and if they're totally the opposite, it's going to be actually tear everything down and break everything down. Why? Because
Yeah.
we as humans, ukiangalia tu our nature as humans, we are social creatures, right? Like
Yeah, sure.
hata high school, primary, wapi, even if this is a really extreme situation, hata kama you're just being tutored at home, wewe na mwalimu. I know there are people who have gone through such kind of schooling, but you're not doing it alone. Like you are doing it with the teacher, you're doing it with the tutor, you're doing it with somebody else. Class hauko peke yako. You are surrounded by a very wide variety and a bunch of people. Like hauko peke yako kabisa in work, school, wherever. So you can choose from that bunch a really good bunch to stick around, to get along with and move alongside with them, and the journey is going to be like, we like you've said, I can totally attest to whatever you've said, Kwamba, like we have good friends and we have bad friends, and all of even the viewers, I'm quite sure kuna wengine, they have been in those positions in their life. They've had good company and they've had bad company at the same time, and both of them have
Yeah.
yielded them and gotten them to places. One, maybe they're proud of. Two, maybe they're not proud of. Like it's such a make or break such of kind of a situation, and it's really important, and I really like the way you put it. Again, on
Yeah,
the
and I just said the 2 points because they are relatable. Yeah, because on the other side you might have bad friends, but they are your friends. So that's why I put focus in the in the category too, because you need to focus, because
yeah.
yeah, the bad friends, yeah, it's crazy. We are living in a crazy world, so you have to make sure you're good.
Yeah, so a question inside the other question is, you've talked about focus and you've said that it has gotten you really, really far, alhamdulillah, and you're so proud of yourself for that. But for someone maybe who is having shaking moments with their focus, like someone who is having a toxic relationship with their focus, and it's something they just can't stick to, what advice do you have for them? Like how do they get themselves to the point of actually like considering and taking focus as a really, really important thing in their lives? What advice do you have for them, for someone who is struggling with
Okay,
focus?
so for someone who is struggling to focus, is the first thing to do is first, if you can identify that you're struggling, that's the first step, because
But
most of the
yeah,
people who are struggling with focus is that they don't know they're struggling with focus. You
yeah.
see, so the person has to identify that, okay, I've been struggling lately. I've been struggling with focus issues, and I don't get focus. You see,
Mm,
I think we can go to the second step as to as to how we are going to evade that. But
mm,
first thing is notice you to identify yourself that yeah, I'm struggling, because most of the people are, they are probably lost in the
mm,
source. You see, you may be lost somewhere that, yeah, you don't know even you are supposed to focus. So
mm,
I think you have to identify that I'm having struggles with such things,
mhm,
and once you identify, Then now pick pick the thing that's making you now to get out of focus, and work on it, because I believe that if you have a positive mindset, you can work on that, and that's all. So the key thing is just to identify what you are having troubles with. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you just identify, you just work on it, because I'm not going to tell you how you're going to work on it, because you might have different problems maybe I don't know about, so I'm not going to give examples because I haven't got any other questions on that. But yeah, there are different kinds of things you might be suffering, I'm not, and someone else is suffering from, and other things. So the clear thing is to identify it, and if you identify it, you're good.
Yeah, I really love how you're taking it back to like shida iko wapi. Yeah, like
Shida iko wapi,
that
yeah.
kind of mindset. I really like
Shida
it.
iko wapi kwanza?
Shida iko wapi? Where's
Yeah.
the problem?
Ukijua shida yamaanisha umejijua, si ndio?
Exactly.
So if you just know the problem, you're like, yeah, nimeshajijua, I think I can solve this
Yeah. So
with a positive mindset.
yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. On to the next question. This is a question actually we've talked about this so many times, and I really love to ask people just, and now on camera I know the answer is going to be a little bit nicer. With all the experiences that you've had, with everything that you've gone through, with everything that has gotten you, alhamdulillah, up to this point in life, up to this day, what do you know right now that you know that this knowledge, with this knowledge, I could have done A, B, C, D differently? Like, what could you have done differently with the knowledge that you have right now, with experiences and everything that you've accumulated up to this point in life? What could have changed in the past year?
Yeah, that's a challenging question, to be honest. Because I'm not yet. I can say I'm not a pro for now.
I've said up to this
process,
point in life.
Yeah, I'm not yet a pro. I believe I have a lot of learning to do, and yeah, learning has a lot of mistakes, right, and a lot of good things about it. But so the things that I could have known probably is I think I don't have a lot to say about that topic, because maybe I could have done things earlier. The information that I do have, I could have applied it really early, and sticking by it, maybe to avoid some stress here and there and everything. But I think I'm still in the correct lane, and I don't believe that it's too bad for me. So I have a lot of learning to do, as I said, and I'm going to still learn, and everything is going to be in this place. I'm still young, regardless. So lots of choice to make in the future. Yeah. Probably you have made an answer for that. You could help us with that, please.
What I could have done differently was, with the experiences that I have right now, is not sitting on ideas. Like, alhamdulillah, I sometimes we talk about this so many times, and like we generate ideas, we come up with really nice ideas, but then we hold ourselves back. Like, we tend to overthink. Personally, I tend to overthink the situation and think of A, B, C, D. I like to overplan things and not just jump right into them. I guess one thing because one thing I've learned is, once you start doing it, the momentum just comes. Like, it rolls. We've had this conversation. For the viewers, we usually talk about this kind of stuff, but I would say not sit on ideas. I would tell myself, don't sit on ideas for too long, because once you get those ideas, act on them. Once you've had the motivation, any time to when it just feels right, go and do it. The moment you just get that revelation, you get that feeling, just go and do it. Because sitting on ideas, like, give yourself the chance to actually even try and fail and
fail.
yeah. but don't, at least you can say at the end of the day, I tried, you know, and it just changes everything around. Yeah, that's what I think I would have.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to the viewers. Especially, I've also been suffering on such things, but yeah, I don't have a lot of ideas. Just like Sheba has a lot of ideas, by the way. So he's been having a bunch of ideas, and he's been telling me. So on the other side, I'm usually idealist. I have one idea at a time. So yeah, I think that works for those who have a lot of ideas and things that you want to try out. And yeah, just go on the adventurous journey and execute it,
Like, don't
and
hold
boom.
yourself back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. So this next one is quite interesting. Up to this point, what is the best part of being a student?
What?
What's the best part about being a student?
Okay. Uh, the best part about being a student, I could say, it's the endless learning. Like, you learn forever, my guy. You have to learn forever. Like, it's not, nothing marks the end of your learning
Yeah.
as being a student. I don't think if the moment you'll be graduating from high school, graduating from university, that's the end. If you've subscribed into this domain of learning, my guy, you're going to learn forever. You are going to learn because things change, and things require more information. So, like, you are a lifelong learner. I think that's the best thing about being a learner and being a student. You're going to forever learn. Yeah. If you don't like it, I don't think you are going to be very good in this field. So if you don't like it, I think it's not your thing.
You've said about if you don't like it. So how do you actually get yourself to like being a student? Like, how do you get yourself to like the stuff you're learning? How is it
Yeah,
by
that's why I told you. Yeah, that's why I said before you start learning, you have to love what you learn, because since you're going to love what you learn, you're going to learn it forever, regardless. And the moment you are tired, you see, yeah, it makes no sense because you just subscribe to something you love, and you are tired. No, you shouldn't be tired. You should wear out instead of being tired, because it's a lifelong process, and before you start it, just think twice. And that's why I don't want you guys to make some mistakes that maybe a mistake related to what I said, because you may not like it in the end. So if something doesn't matter to you in the next 5 to 10 years, so why subscribe to it? So subscribe, ensure that before you do something, you have put your entire heart in it, right? So to put yourself in the first place, I think the thing that makes you to fit this learning process of being a student is to love what you're doing. That's it. And if you just love what you're doing, regardless, you're going to put effort into it, and boom, that's it.
Yeah, okay. I know there's just someone watching this video who is like, yeah, yeah, easy for you to say you love tech, you know, easy for you to say.
Yeah.
But what I can say to them is there's a video, especially for people who haven't started university. There's a video I made about 5 things to do after KCSE, and I'll link it above or below. And in that video, I talk about actually doing volunteer work. Like, go get yourself out there and sort of explore. Like, you're not in work, you're not in university, you're not doing anything. You're just literally volunteering. With today, like with this world that we're in today, there are a lot of videos, maybe in days in the lives about maybe someone who is a software engineer, day in the life of a mechanical engineer, day in the life of a medical student, day in the life of blah, blah, blah. Like, go out there and look at this stuff and see what actually you are interested in, so that you can actually make you liking and loving learning a very simpler process. Another thing is, I guess, worth mentioning is, as a student, okay, you might, for someone, for example, who is in second year and maybe they're sort of they didn't have an option maybe that is the only option they had to go to do that thing in university, whatever they're doing. I guess a really important thing worth mentioning is, if you find yourself stuck in a situation na huwezi kutoka, you can't get yourself out, try to look in that area that you're in something that you can love. Try to bring something out of it. Seriously, like if you're stuck, look for something that you actually enjoy in that stuckness, that can actually be the light, and stick to it and redefine it.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
and make sure like you actually you get the point, my viewers. Anyways,
Yeah, because according to what you are speaking about, is like I may like someone may not be in a position to do some medicine, right? And
exactly,
you really love medicine, you just want to be a doctor, you see. And the only thing that at your time you can access is maybe tech. You're in the tech industry, you don't love tech.
yeah,
You see, you don't give a shit. I don't want to curse in your you don't care about tech, you see.
exactly.
So uh now you are forced to do this, and yeah, maybe you never performed well, because based on our system, you know, we are in a rigged system that determines your success based on one exam. I'll usually complain about this system because this system is work, at least. So I can say about that. So you don't want to do tech, but you are forced in that situation. What
Yeah.
should I do? You see, like you say that you love medicine and you are going to fight for it, then you can use that opportunity for tech and to climb into the medicine field.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
regardless, because you just love it, someone who has love for something is able to be patient for it. So you're going to be patient for that, and in the long run, I promise you're going to get into the field of medicine. Like just that, through that tech that you're doing that you don't love, I think you're going to get into medicine, probably through many ways. You can seek some scholarships in the when you're in your journey in tech. You can also wait to graduate, and just by getting a bachelor of science in tech, you can get into medicine, right, Sheba? Studio,
You can.
and
Yeah.
many other things.
Graduate
So
programs.
the journey doesn't end there. So it's you not giving up for what you love. If you love it, really, you really love it, then go for it,
Yeah. And
because you're not going to stick to tech and you don't love it.
yeah, exactly. Thank you. And I guess another important thing, like I want to say to the viewers is, for me personally, my own story, how I get myself to learn, to like the learning process is actually knowing the fact that, you know what, this thing, I'm going to learn this thing, and no one is ever going to take it away from me. Like, it's knowledge, you're going to know, like, and no one is ever going to take that away from you. Let them take everything around you, the people that you have, maybe every materialistic thing that you have, but at the end of the day,
Sure.
the knowledge that you have, it's yours. Like,
For sure.
you're not even sharing it with anybody else.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's your soul knowledge.
yeah, it's just a good thing. That's really nice. So we've talked about best things. What is the worst part of being a student? Like, of all the experiences you've had as a student, which one was the worst? Like,
Yeah, the worst part about being a student. Okay, so the worst part about being a student, since you are a learner, I can say is still lack of focus. You know, we are not perfect human beings. You see, we go astray. Don't listen to me saying about focus and everything. I've had battles with my focus too. That's why I think I'm having great focus, because I've been having a lot of battles with my focus in the
it's not
beginning.
just something that just clicked.
Yeah, it doesn't
The
click
journey, yeah.
in the morning. It's a journey, right? So battling with focus is something, it's the worst thing, because the moment you just shift away from what you're doing, it's like it's tough. It's tough for you to take yourself back and forth. It's a journey of taking yourself back and forth from your main target back back to your main target, you see. So that's the worst, and that's where many learners end up quitting, you see. Many learners end up giving up, many learners lack motivation because I don't think even motivation can be today and tomorrow, but it will not be forever. You see,
Exactly.
so that's the saddest thing, that you're
Mhm.
not going to be motivated forever, and you may think of, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm going to be a millionaire. You know, some use money as motivation. I know we
Yeah,
want to be rich. Who doesn't want
yeah,
to be rich, right?
yeah,
So you're
yeah.
going to be using money as the motivation, but and I'm like, no, like money, you've been overusing money as motivation. Now I'm tired of such motivation.
Mm.
You see, and
Mm.
in this place money doesn't make sense too, because you just want to learn in the meantime and you don't find yourself learning.
Mm.
So in the as the at the end you end up giving up and quitting probably, or staying for long, uh, out of focus, and coming back becomes a problem. So these are issues that pile upon themselves, and you find yourself lost, I could say, unapotea kabisa. Like, yeah, that's one of the worst things, but there are lots. But yeah, that sucks for sure.
Yeah, and yeah, now look the way you said it, looking at it again, it's actually one of the things that I personally also have struggled with. Like, you know, it reaches a point you're like, you know what, I've had enough. Let me just get myself into ABCD, and then ABCD becomes your life. You
Yeah,
totally forget that at some point you have exams, at some point you're a student, but then it totally gets out of your head, and you're like, yeah,
yeah.
I'm done. Like, getting
You're
yourself
done.
back,
Like,
it's a real struggle.
what are we
And
going to do about it?
yeah, but
Yeah,
then
so to the students really need peace. Yeah, you really need a lot of patience to do this. Yeah, it's not going to be easy,
mm,
but the end is going to work.
yeah,
So focus, focus.
yeah, focus is really, really important. For me, what
Yeah.
I can say is, um, okay, it's kind of counteractive. Me, the worst part for myself, and this is just me, according to me and my experiences, is the less autonomy we are given in the previous years, like high school and primary.
Mhm.
For me, it's just I don't like being told what to do at some point. Like, you know, something like preps. You know, so it just didn't make the cut for me. Kapsa, kapsa, kapsa. Those are one of my worst experiences because for real,
Yeah.
being told what to do
Yeah, I get you.
every
I really
single
get you. I really
second
get you
of
in
your
this.
life, that is
Yeah,
my
yeah,
worst experience because you had to wake up at a certain time, do ABCD, any be at preps at a certain time, do
yeah. Hmm.
this at a certain time, be present here at a certain time. Man, that was so exhausting. That was so
Yeah. Yeah, it was so exhausting, but the positive side about it, like some people probably have benefited from it. I know some people
exactly,
there
yeah.
are disciplined geeks, but
Yeah,
we are also disciplined regardless.
yeah.
But yeah, you may enforce some rules, but they don't
Mm.
apply to everyone. So I don't know. Schools can work on this. I don't know how
Yeah,
they're
me,
going to.
me, you know,
Yeah.
one thing I really enjoy about uni life is the complete autonomy that comes with it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm.
you and your time. You just have one
Yeah. Yeah.
commitment on a day, maybe 2 or 3 classes, and that's it.
Sure.
Like, the other time it's yours. Ni wewe na uamuzi wako. I just love that aspect. But
True.
it says some people need it. Some people need
Yeah. Yeah.
the structure,
Some
and
people need that,
yeah,
but
it's there
it
for a
it
reason.
helps to
So
program them.
yeah,
Yeah, it helps to program them, and they
yeah,
become better citizens and better students in the
yeah.
future.
So before we actually kind of like wind up with this discussion, um, I want us to talk about balance, and it's something we've talked about before, and I've also talked about on my channel. I'll link a video above or below. Um, Being a student, it's not just about the books. Like, si pale kwa vitabu peke yake. Life isn't there alone. it's an all-rounded thing, and it's something that it takes from every aspect and angle of your life, to a point that if you have a bad day at home, it's going to come and manifest itself in school, and it's going to make things not easy, and you get what I'm saying. So what's your take on this balance as a student? Like, how do you go about it?
That it steers up the learning process. You really need the balance, because the balance is also part of learning. If you think that learning is it happens throughout, you might be learning in the balance too, you see. And in the balance, it's the balance that at least it shifts your mind, at least from other issues that are regarded to your learning process, and it makes you strong. So talking about balance, I'm going to tell you a couple of things. So, for example, you are I'm a tech student, right? Uh, I do a lot of. If you guys know about coding, I do a lot of coding. That's how I learn. Like, I usually code 24/7, and as a result of that, I find myself having issues with my mind and everything. So I really need to balance. So it comes to a point where you see that I need to balance my my lifestyle, my learning process, and everything. So you can involve yourself in activities that are not intensive in the learning process. You see, so you can.
Bismillah. Mhm. The balance.
About balance, balance helps us to it facilitates the process of learning and focus. If you don't know about balance, like it's a way that we can, we all have a life. We all have a life regardless. You
Yeah.
see, like we were born and we are just living. And if you don't love life, uh, it's too bad for you. You really have to love life. And apart from learning, I just said you have a life. So balance helps you to come out of the learning life into your reality. You see, you have your own reality. You have problems that you face in life. You have things that are not learning. They are not in the learning field. You see, you have children. Some of you have brothers. You have sisters. We have parents that that's now the real world, right? So apart from learning, we don't need to learn 24/7. I think the like just a few hours of great focus are enough, like uninterrupted focus. If I talk about focus, it's 100% uninterrupted focus. You don't need even a half a day for that. I think the most you can go for is 8 hours of learning. You see, real learning, and it's not deeply inside the books and everything. Probably other things that are not even related to books. We
Yeah.
have discussion. We have, you see,
Mm.
and maybe for deep learning and everything, you can just take 6 hours and in a maximum of 6 hours for your health. We
Yeah.
have to balance everything in life, and it's this balance that facilitates our focus and everything. So the key thing here is to ensure that you don't forget yourself. Don't immerse yourself into the field of learning that you forget that at the end of the day, at the end, we all die. You see,
Yeah.
we'll all die, and we are just living here for a purpose, and we need to make sure we are healthy, we are good healthy wise, and everything around us, our relationships, our social
Lives.
life is good also. You see,
Mm.
so I think balancing is an important aspect in life, and even it doesn't only apply in learning; it applies everywhere. So you need to balance everything. So don't get too lost in learning that you forget that you have a life to live. So balancing, you can balance through just some. You can have some fun time around with people, talk to some people. Yeah, because you can't be a loner. You can't go into lone wolf mode and forget that, hey, niko na watu bana. Like these people, I'm not here. I'm here because of them. You see? Yeah, because sometimes some people end up being sad and bitter just because they gave too much focus on themselves and
Yeah.
not the other people around them,
Yeah.
of whom the people around them are as much as
As
important. You see,
important, yeah.
yeah. So and they gave rise to, they brought about his or her existence, and maybe you are there because of them and everything. So my advice is that you have to balance whatever you do, and yeah, just balance, do as much as you can, not to forget yourself.
Yeah.
Just do any activity that you think is balanced. So according to me, what I do is when I'm free, I love walking around. I just kuzurura, you see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Sheba is one of the people in this tribe of kuzurura. So so just go to town, like have some walk, treat
Yeah,
yourself good, and you have some pesa kidogo, treat yourself, go out, have some fun. You see,
yeah,
like
yeah.
hautaumia, so have some fun. I want you to enjoy your learning practice, and the moment you get back from learning, that's not distraction. You see, so there's a difference between distractions and taking a time off from something. The moment you just decided that I'm taking a time off, that's not distraction, because you are the one who has the control of taking yourself back, and you're the one who took yourself out, and it's nothing bad about it. I think that's it.
I really like the way you're putting it. Like, it's not a distraction. It's just a break, and
Yeah,
it's
it's a
you
break.
who has taken that card. You're like, you know what? I'm
Yeah.
swiping this break. I'm going out for a minute, and I'm the one who will bring myself back. It's a conscious
Yeah, sure.
decision you are making, not like the one we were talking about, focus, where you're being driven away completely out of something you totally forget. This is actually something you are taking an initiative, making a sound decision of doing something out of studying. And there's something I've talked about on my channel in one of the Be Productive videos. I'll link it above or below. I was talking about the 8-hour rule. You mentioned this, and then I remembered we talked about 6 hours of sleeping. Yeah, it's really fine. So you are talking about the 8 hours, the 6 hours of sleep, maximum of 6 or maybe 7. And if you take that perspective and actually put it in your life, where like you divide your days like 24 hours in terms of like 8 8 8, the rule of 8 is called the rule of 8. So you like 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of studying, and then 8 hours of doing literally anything else. You have 24 hours in a day, like
24 hours.
yeah. So
That's a lot.
yeah, that's a lot. Like the 8 8 8 thing. It's a really good analogy, and also what you've said. It's that these other people have the other things. Don't close the door. They bear a really good significance in your life. Like they every single person around you plays a role into actually making you being whatever you are. And it's really important, because most of the time utasahau kwamba these other aspects of your life affect the student in you. Like every part of you has a role to play. So take a time and feel every cup that you have, that is every one of your cups. I get the viewers are really getting the gist of whatever we are saying. So the other thing
Yeah.
I wanted you to actually talk about is, for someone who is interested in doing IT, for someone who is interested in going down the path that you've gone through and up to this point, what advice do you have for them? What tips do you have for them? What good words do you have for them? For someone who is interested in IT and is willing to go down the road that you are right now, what do you have to say to them?
Okay, so IT is a field that it's tech. We call it tech, and the tech field is not the IT only. So the tech field it's huge. So we have computer science. The universities have a tendency of distributing these things into titles and everything, regardless. But uh, the concept is just one. It's tech. So anything that regards tech that you're going to do it, like this is the advice that I want to give you. Maybe if you want to do something regarding to tech, even some engineers, they are just in tech. You see, the electrical engineers and everyone. So this is the tech field I'm talking about. So the tech field is it's not a theoretical field. It's a field that you have to work. You don't read, you have to work. So you don't read a lot, you have to work a lot instead. So unfortunately, this doesn't happen in universities that we are in. So the universities we are in, they have a tendency of making you read more than you work, and you need to work more than you read. You see, so you have to balance that. So it's fun. It's a field that it's usually fun, and and to work you need to read. So that's a bit confusing. Why am I telling you that you need to work more than you read, and the universities are telling us to read more than we work, and I'm telling you now to read so that you work? You see, so that's confusing. But I can assure you that you just do some little reading and about it, and the reading, learning, the working is also part of learning. Never see that. I'm not talking about working to get paid, by the way. I'm talking about exercising the tech, now doing it. You have a lot of fields in tech. For example, we have a field where we have network engineers. Network engineers ensure that, that's why me and Sheba are communicating here, because the network engineers are doing a great job. So everything is tech. We have the software engineers. We're using a software right now to record this, and the software engineers have done a great work. So like, you need you need to work. you know they are not reading, and they're not putting out theories out here, but they've done something. So it's about doing more than reading. I think all the fields cut across that. So my advice to those who are going to be doing tech is welcome, and never be lazy. Like, you need to be on toes, and the tech field is changing, and it's a very interesting field, and it's ready to welcome everyone in the field, and with open arms. And you choose your field wisely, the field that you want to do, and read a lot, because the field is going to change in future, and everything is going to be in its place, just like other fields.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really sound and great advice. Personally, sifanyi tech,
Yeah.
but if I was to nini, I could be taking notes right now.
I know you do medicine, but you also in medicine. What makes you a great doctor? You need to take part in what the, for example, internships. You see,
Yeah,
you need to do something. You see, you
yeah, the
need
work
to exercise. You need to be in hospital.
yeah,
You cannot learn something. You learn anatomy,
yeah,
but this anatomy, how do you apply the anatomy,
exactly.
right?
Like you
You
have
see, so
to
like
take
that's in
yourself to
tech.
the ground and see how things happen
Yeah.
there and learn from.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
good.
in tech,
Actually,
it's somehow interesting. In tech, it's somehow interesting because you can work by your own before doing something. So that sets us apart. I think that's some advantage, because you
yeah,
can you can do something without being hired, being in an internship, being something like, you're just going to learn about it. So just go and research about it, and you're going to see how you're going to get started. But it's a very interesting field.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want to dwell so much on it,
that's
because I'm going
really
to.
nice
Yeah.
advice. Yeah. So just to wrap everything up, for the students who are watching, what advice would you give them? Like, what would you tell them? For someone who maybe like put into consideration, picture this guy who maybe is watching this video looking for some sort of way forward, like maybe they're stuck somewhere struggling with their focus, and he just what do you have to tell them?
First, you need to identify what you want to do, and that's something that's very essential in your life. Like, have a purpose. Like, the moment you don't have a purpose in this life, you're not going to love what you want to do, you see. And you need to have a purpose. Having a purpose makes you have some focus. I read one of Sheba's issues on, is it on the issues that you're dropping, by the way. Just subscribe to them, because yeah, they have a lot of information. So Sheba says that whatever you focus on grows.
Yeah.
And I remember you said that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just to quote you, since you said that whatever you focus on grows, so
Yeah.
have a purpose and focus on it, and definitely it's going to grow. Like, I'm telling you, in the next year, you're not going to be the same that that you were in the previous year.
Yeah.
So identify your purpose in this life, and in the field of studies, and just focus on it. So I'm not talking about education and everything. Like, a learner is just a learner anywhere. You can be in the by the way, you can be in the tertiary institution, you can be working, you can be employed, but you are still learning. You are learning something or two somewhere. So the moment you've decided that I'm learning this, then just focus on it, regardless where you are, regardless you're in school, regardless you're at home. You are trying to learn a skill in something. I'm not talking about maybe just studies and everything. It can be in cooking, it can be in
Yeah.
everything. You see, like, life is fun. You see, I'm
Yeah.
not talking about things that are in the corporate world, so that you guys who are outside there, maybe you are not doing things that are related to studies, and
Yeah.
you are really watching this video. It's not about school. I'm not talking about school, like learning in school only. So learning is everywhere.
Yeah.
We learn everything. Like, I also learn outside school, and that's it. So just choose your thing and stick to it and focus on it. And I assure you, it's going to be good.
Yeah. In an effort not to actually break how great that advice was, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not going to ruin it. Kabisa. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything on top of that. So yeah,
Okay.
Hamisi, thank you so much, Maze, for making up the time and being here today, Maze. I really hope the viewers have gotten a lot of value from you and from this video. I really thank you so much. Thank you so much for making the time to be here today and actually sharing with the viewers whatever you have to share it. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. We'll get to them. If it's something that requires Hamisi to answer, I'll make sure he gets to it. I promise you that I'll make sure he gets to it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys, or maybe we'll see you guys in another video. Yeah. So thank you. Peace. One.